Hey, what's going on, good people, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and with me is my other co-host, 90s.
Hey, how you doing, people?
And with me is my co-host, Dusk.
Hello.
And today we got a nice, good plethora of topics for you today on today's show. We're going to talk about that new Showtime show, The Chi, focused on life in Chicago. We're going to talk about that Eminem Chloraseptic remix. We're going to talk about Apple slowing down their phones and them being sued by France. And we're also going to talk about the Consumer Electronics Show. We're going to talk about that book Michael Wolff wrote, Fire and Fury Inside the White House, the Trump book that everybody's been talking about. We're going to give our thoughts on that. We're also going to talk about Hawaii and Japan having similar situations going on that are really troublesome, really scary stuff. And also I'm going to give some quick movie reviews for The Commuter and Proud Mary to just give an overall sense of what we're talking about. So a good mix of everything we're going to talk about on today's show. And we're going to start it off with talking about The Chi, that a show that me and 90s both saw, which actually, did you yeah, you actually turned me on to the show, right? I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I saw it on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. Like, that was a nice entry level that they gave us.
Yeah. And it's a Showtime show, like I said. It's created by Lena Waithe, who's also a writer on Master of None. She's also an actress on that show. She plays Denise, which is Aziz Ansari's best friend on that show. And she actually just recently won an Emmy. She created this show along with executive producers on the show as well, with Common, Rick Famuyiwa directed the pilot episode. Rick Famuyiwa, people might know him. He also was the director of Dope, which is a movie I love.
Okay.
Yeah, so he came in and directed the first episode. And this show has, a lot of good talent in here. You got Jason Mitchell, who people know him. He was Easy in Straight Outta Compton. He was also in Kong Skull Island. He was also recently in the Netflix movie Mudbound. And he plays a chef in here. I'm kind of surprised he actually took up this gig of being in a TV show, because he's kind of seems like he has this burgeoning movie career going on. He's been in a lot of movies recently. So I was kind of surprised to see him there. You also get Jacob Lattimore, who Dust talked to us about. He was in that movie Slight. So you get him in this as well. And you get a lot of different perspectives of people in Chicago. Because when she was talking about the show, Lena Waithe, she was saying how she wanted to give a more human side to the people of Chicago and show that how, one tragedy can kind of affect all these lives. Like, it's not just a bunch of, gangbangers always running around killing each other. Like, there's actually a lot of people who are just trying to live and make it in, just living and making an everyday life. 90s, how did you feel about watching the very first episode?
Man, the first thing I wanted to figure out is, how accurate is this to Chicago life? And I think they did fairly good. They didn't really show nearly as much as I wanted them to, but I looked around the neighborhood. I'm like trying to figure out, like, where are they filming? Like, why did I miss this? Because they're supposed to be on the south side, right?
Right.
Like, it gives me a small sliver of it. Like, one of the main characters is a chef, and I'm like, I feel like they did some type of style behind that, because they gave us a nice little entree, a nice little sample of an entree, I should say.
Okay.
Left me wanting more. Like, this past episode 2 just passed this past Sunday. I missed out on that, and I really need to go back and look at it, see, like, how did they develop this, as I want to say, world. It's really a city and just the people in it. But I just want to see how they develop more.
Okay. The sense I got mostly from it is it feels very much like Treme, if anybody's ever seen that show, where it was an HBO show, and it was focused on people who were living after Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans and how they were kind of dealing with that whole situation. And it was showing the city from multiple different perspectives. And also something like The Wire, also, how it showed the city of Baltimore from all these kind of different perspectives and lives growing up there. And this is kind of doing this similar thing of showing us the Jason Mitchell character, who's the chef, and he's kind of living more of the better life in Chicago because he works at this really nice restaurant. He's trying to really come up and make enough money so he can open up his own spot with him and open up his own spot for him and his girlfriend. You get a sense of the Jacob Lattimore character, who's I guess in his like mid-20s, living at home with his mother. Baby mama drama kind of going on there. He's got a kid. You also got another child actor who you see him, and you see from his perspective growing up in an elementary school, middle school, and you see Chicago through his lens. Did you like those different perspectives that they did show with all the people in there and all the different?
I did, but
yeah,
I felt like I did want more from it because you don't really know too much about these people. Like, they just give you a quick summary. It's like, yeah, he's the guy that's a chef. He's just like an average guy. Like, even one of the kids says like, yeah, you don't look like you just look like some average guy. Like, nowadays everybody's like either in a gang or just straight legit, like corporate or whatever. And he's like somewhere in the middle. He's just working a regular job, just trying to get through. Like, he doesn't want to get involved in this gang stuff. He's not like shaking up with people in the street or anything like that. He's just a regular guy.
right.
He got a big stomach and everything.
Yeah, he's just trying to make it, live, work. Just trying to get out of where he was from. His mother is played by Angela Bassett. Who Angela Bassett is in tons of stuff now. It seems like she was in American Horror Story. She's gonna be in a new show on Fox 911. It feels like I'm seeing her everywhere. It seems like she pops up in a lot of stuff now. She was also in an episode of Master and None as Denise's mother in one episode. So it feels like I'm kind of seeing her a lot of places. So good for her. She's working. So great on her. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. I'm definitely gonna keep with it. I think it has enough for me to keep going. I'm curious as to show, like, because something happens in the first episode. I don't want to spoil it if anybody who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, please don't.
And it creates kind of a ripple effect. I think that's interesting to see how that incident and how that ripple effect will affect everybody that you saw in the first episode, and how it'll affect them, and how it will eventually, lead to the ultimate conclusion. Because I'm seeing here, it's only like 7 episodes. Right here I'm seeing.
For the season?
Yeah, for the season. That's what I'm saying. So it'd be very interesting to see how this continues and this grows from what happened in it. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in keeping with it and seeing more from it. Most definitely. And if people want to see it, they can see it on YouTube. It's free. You could just check it out on YouTube.
Yes, only for the first episode though, and they censor it if you like anybody cares, but yeah, it's pretty much the same exact episode. They just censor it a little bit.
Yeah, like they blur out some things. They edit out the curse words, stuff like that. So, but
That's no fun.
yeah,
it still remains the same thing.
It's not like you see any real nudity anyway. Only like the real kind of only thing.
No, it's more like the cursing. Who cares at that point?
Oh yeah, I don't like when they do that, but it's like, well, whatever. It's fine.
It's like the early '90s when they would cut out all the curse words in rap songs.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's
It would just be listening to a song, and there would just be like, "I'll take you out the, I don't know where." And like entire songs would be missing. Parts of the song would be missing.
Yeah.
It's a one big Proud Family episode, if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah. So from what we told you about the Shadow there at Dusk, do you think that like this is something you would check out at all, or?
I would. I'm intrigued now. You have piqued my interest.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna keep with it and hope to see something. I think this will grow into a really great show. I think this has really great potential in it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I agree as well, man. Like, see episode 2. I really need to watch that. I might just watch that tonight.
Yeah. Me too. I'll probably check that out as well. And we're probably gonna come back for a mid-season review to well, actually, it's only 7 episodes. We'll probably just come back and watch all of it and give our overall thoughts on the entire season once we're all done with it. All right. So moving on to talking about TV, we're going to talk about just some movies real quick. 2 movies that '90s or Dust didn't see that I only saw the Commuter and Proud Mary. Do you guys know about these movies at all? The Commuter at all?
I
Or
know I know the Commuter because it stars Liam goddamn Neeson,
right.
my hero.
And I'm the opposite. I knew about Proud Mary because I thought the movie was just badass. Like, I'm starting to see women take the role more often with Taraji P. Henson and Gabrielle Union with her movie coming up recently.
Well,
I like it.
Taraji P. Henson is already ridiculous.
She doesn't. I guess you guys might be able to name some more action movies she's done, but I'm not used to that.
She was in Smoking Aces. That was a while back, though.
Oh yeah, that was a whiles back.
Yeah, she was in that. That's the only action movie I really remember her in. She was in that. She played like a sniper in that. Who she was partners with Alicia Keys in that movie. Yeah. So yeah, which I fucking hate Smoking Aces anyway. But
yeah, I didn't watch it.
It's an odd movie, but that's fine. That's for another time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, since we already talking about, Taraji P. Henson and Smoking Aces, let's go with Proud Mary. Let's let it be the first one. So it's a basic setup. Taraji P. Henson, who's Mary, she's a hit woman who works for this organized crime family, and she meets this young boy, who she looks after and takes care of, and how maybe a certain incident happens that causes a big gang rivalry, and she has to protect the boy. And when you watch the trailer for this, I mean, I was kind of a little, even though it's a January movie, I was kind of like, hey, I got some hope for this because of the trailer, and it has kind of this 70s blaxploitation type of feel to it that makes it really kind of exciting to look at. I was like, well, if they kind of lean into that aspect more and make it like a modern day send up of those films, not like a parody, not like something like Black Dynamite, but something like that's a modern interpretation of it, much like Jackie Brown, maybe this can actually work, but the product you get is just kind of some dull, standard, basic action movie. I mean, even the opening of the movie has a similar like fonts and similar coloring of a 70s blaxploitation film, and it has a lot of flavor and it has a lot of style to it, and that style never comes back to the film ever again. Like once that title sequence ends, yeah, that's pretty much all the exciting things you get really out of this movie. Because
that's a shame.
Yeah, because the action in it is just standard, shoot 'em up kind of action. There's nothing really spectacular about it. Taraji P. Henson, she does decent in the action scenes, but it's nothing that you can't see from television. It actually, I think most television shows actually look better action wise. A lot of them do better in the action scenes. Like these ones, it's like nothing really special, nothing really to get that excited about. The whole story itself is a little kind of like just cliche, you know what I mean? It's the whole story is like with these two gangs, and something happens because she works for this mob boss who's played by Danny Glover, who he's kind of sleepwalking through this, honestly. Like, I could barely even understand what he was saying most of the time because it seemed like he was kind of mumbling, and I was like, I really don't really understand what you're saying most of the time. It was kind of confusing sometimes. But she works for him, and there's a lot of cliche stuff that happens there. Like, he has his son working for him, and like, how many times have you heard like them going back and forth about like, we need to start a war? It's like it's time. They want to test us. And, like, no, we have to wait. We have to, wait. We don't want any more bloodshed. Stuff like that. Like, just cliche mob gang dialogue 101. And even the villains in here, they're cliche mob people, villain people, like to make you hate them. They abuse kids and hit them and things like that. The only real moments of this movie I really enjoyed was the whole stuff between Taraji P. Henson and the boy. I think they have really good chemistry together. I think they bounced off each other pretty well. Whenever the kid was not with Taraji P. Henson, I thought he was pretty terrible. I thought he was really bad. And, there's nothing really that is to get really that excited about it. I mean, Taraji P. Henson as Mary is pretty decent. She's good as an action heroine. But other than that, it's just like, I don't think this movie's worth all that much to go see. I was kind of sitting there like bored, and I thought it was really a slog to get through, honestly. And she's convincing, Taraji P. Henson, but it's nothing that I think that I would say, yeah, you got to go see it. I don't even really think it will be around in theaters for that long, honestly. And I mean, I would have to give it a tune out. I'd have to give it a thumbs down for me.
I'm actually glad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame because I think it had good potential. I think you could have really did something with this, and really made it like I said, a modern blaxploitation send up of those movies. If you get somebody who really knew what they were doing and somebody who really could really write a killer script, direct some really great action, but none of this action is that spectacular. It's this basic shoot 'em up gun action that you haven't seen a million times before, and it's not doing it in any remarkable way, like something like John Wick or something like Atomic Blonde. So yeah, I mean, it's just really disappointing, and it was just a shame because I thought the trailer really sold it on that level of like, yeah, it's gonna be that kind of type of movie if you got somebody who really knew what they were doing, which is, it's a shame.
Nah, man, but trailers lie all the time.
Yeah, I mean, whoever cut that trailer knew exactly what he was doing or he or she was doing, because that was a great trailer.
They knew what they want. They knew what they wanted the trailer to be.
Yeah, and because that trailer's great. I mean, that's a really good trailer. I thought it was a kick-ass trailer. Plus, with the music playing, with the Proud Mary music, and like it was really good.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't made a project where they collect all the trailers of really like mediocre movies but fantastic trailers and just stitch them all together. Yeah, and you're like, the trailers are better than the movie. Don't bother.
The video game version of that would be Kroby Cat, or however you say that on YouTube.
Sure.
I like what he does, and I'm hoping that somebody just copies him and does it for movies.
Yeah, I would. He's like, maybe we should start that. Just collect all the trailers that are better than the actual movies.
Yeah, I mean,
because in my opinion, that Thor Ragnarok trailer was better than the movie, but that's my opinion. But it's a shame, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I think Taraji P. Henson is a great actress, and to see her in a kind of a different role, that would have been really interesting. And I was curious about the art, and the trailer was interesting too. So that's a shame, man.
Yeah. So it's disappointing. It's very much a disappointment. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't even really recommend you see it at home, or even though like if you just watch it on maybe TV. I wouldn't even recommend that.
Damn.
Like, cause it's nothing to really hold your interest here all that much. It's just kind of nothing. And the movie's not that long. The movie's only like an hour and 30 minutes. It's not that long.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it's like an hour and 30 minutes. So it's not that long. So.
Well, that's good then. At least it knows when to get in and get out.
Yeah.
So I'm actually curious. Like, could you see Taraji P. Henson in more action-packed movies?
Sure. I mean, she's convincing in the action scenes. It's just that a lot of them are not that good. But she's. I mean, it's not like unbelievable for her to do all this stuff. It's just a lot of the henchmen. So
she does a lot of good moves, but the movie around it just isn't good enough for her.
Yeah. She mostly does stuff with guns. Like, she doesn't ever take on somebody hand to hand. She mostly does stuff with guns. Oh. It's just shooting people.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's just that.
Okay, because it threw me off when I saw the trailer. I'm like, she's working out and she's got the gun. She's whooping ass. Like, okay, what? This is not your character at all. When the hell did you start playing this?
That's only one scene. That's only one scene in the movie. That's like at the very beginning of the movie when she's like doing push-ups. Like, they don't show her working out ever again. She just does that one time in the beginning of the movie.
Of course.
Like, she never does that ever again in the movie.
She's like, this isn't in my contract. I stay good. I look.
Yeah.
I make my body look good, but I don't work out to do it.
Yeah, like they didn't film her doing that shit after that at all. So that was it. That's all you got. Okay, so moving on from Proud Mary to talk about The Commuter. And it's the movie with Liam Neeson. And a lot of people saw the trailer for this and go, oh, it's taken on a train this time instead of a plane. So it's not nonstop again.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, I was about to say more nonstop than I would say taken.
Yeah, it's a little bit even more kind of less than that because with Taken.
Oh no.
I didn't see nonstop, so I can't compare it to quality. But I'm just saying, just as far as a character that he's playing, because Here, he's playing more of an average guy than he would in Nonstop or Taken. Because Taken, like, he was like a special forces, like, ex-CIA guy. And then in Nonstop...
Yeah, Brian, I believe that's the name of his character. He was a like mix of CIA / specialist. He and his buddies were like they were like special forces.
Yeah.
So so he was like ridiculous in his capabilities of set of skills.
Yeah.
And Nonstop, he plays an air marshal.
Yeah, he was an air marshal.
He was
that.
former. Yeah, he was an air marshal, former or something.
Yeah, and
honestly, he could have just been. That could have just been his job before he got taken.
Yeah,
his character wasn't that bit different.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, I never saw Nonstop, so yeah, Nonstop. He was I remember, I do remember somebody talking about it. Like, yeah, he was like a federal air marshal, and in this movie, he plays an insurance salesman who was an ex-cop. So, I mean, that's not as special as somebody who's like ex-CIA special forces. Like, he's still more of a regular guy, kind of like Die Hard.
I like that the most regular they have to make him. He's like, he was an ex-cop.
Yeah. Well, because he still has to have a certain set of skills to be able to do
exactly. Because we can't have him be completely average and not knowing. We can't have him being like Oscar Schindler, where he's just a literal normal guy who's just a smooth talker.
Yeah, like he's got to have some background, some set of skills that lets him do the job that he does. And him being an ex-cop makes him a target for Vera Farmiga, who comes up to him, when he's taking the train, because he commutes to work every day. And she comes up to him and offers him a deal on whether or not, if he accepts it, he will get $100,000, but he can also deny it. But he has one simple job. All he has to do is find somebody on this train for Vera Farmiga. And if he can do that, he'll get the money. And at first, he's thinking like, oh, well, I don't know. Should I do it? Should I not do it? But he's got a lot of things going against him. His kid is going to college. He's in a lot of debt. He's got 2 mortgages. He's living hand to mouth. He's like, damn, I really need that money. That $100,000 sounds pretty fucking good. So I think I'm going to take it. Because and it's the thing, she doesn't give it. She says, I'm not going to give it to you all at once. There's $75,000 in the train bathroom, and you go get it there. And if you take that money, you're accepting it, and you have a choice to make. If you do take that money, you're accepting it, and he does, and he gets thrown in for basically a wild ride here. And I will say this movie works on a B movie type level, something that Proud Mary doesn't really do. And I think that Liam Neeson, because it's kind of fun to see him going around and talking to people and using those cop skills to like talk to people and try to get information on people to figure out, okay, who is the person on the train I'm supposed to be looking for. Because she only gives him this basic information of who the person is. And it's up to him to try to kind of piece it together. So that's kind of a little, I think, interesting to see, like, who is the person going to be. Also, I think that there's some nice action scenes in the movie that do happen with the train. Some of it is a little ridiculous. Like, there's a scene where Liam Neeson jumps and lands on the hood of the train, a little bit on the top of it, and he's going it's like full force. Like, some of that should probably knock his chest in or completely decapitate him. Like, he just lands on it and he's perfectly fine. Like, some of that stuff like that gets just really crazy, but it's like, whatever. Okay, it's this you got to accept it, I guess, and go with it. And it's also nice having this bottle film type of aesthetic, like these people all trapped on the train and him rushing around and trying to have to find this person, because he has to find this person before a certain stop in the train, or else something bad will happen to him. They'll classic, they'll kill his family, all that type of stuff. And a lot of time, the people in this movie are very cliche people. You have the average old guy who rides a train who he knows Liam Neeson, who's played by Jonathan Banks, who people know him. He was Mike Ehrmantraut in Breaking Bad, and he's here. He talks about his kid a lot, and his kid going to college, all that stuff. And then there's another guy here who's the Wall Street guy, and he talks about how dare you touch my Armani suit, my Gucci suit or whatever, how much money this cost, and he insults people and stuff like that. And then you got kind of the Weasley kind of guy. So they're all types of people. They're not really characters, and that is a huge detriment to the film. But I think the big positive comes back around to Liam Neeson and him being an average guy, him being a normal kind of guy that you can kind of relate to. And it's like, okay, you can have fun and go with that. Because Liam Neeson's not the traditional action heroine. He's older. He says, I'm 60 years old. I'm tired, and he gets his ass kicked a lot in this movie. Like, he has a couple of fight scenes in this movie where he gets beat up bad. And there's one fight scene that's actually really funny. Like, there's one fight scene where, I don't want to spoil it, but there's one fight scene he's fighting this dude, and then like he's using props, and it's actually really funny, like the way he's just using this one particular prop and he's swinging it around and trying to hit this guy. But then even the guy, like when he's fighting him, like again, he's kicking his ass and he's doing all types of kicks and flips, and he's just like kneeing him everywhere. And Liam Neeson, he's trying to keep up, but it's just like you have to realize, like, this dude is 60 years old. You know what I mean? Like, he's tired. Like, he can't do all the stuff. This ain't Taken where he's just mowing down people, nonstop.
That was like what, less than 10 years ago?
Yeah, Taken. Yeah, that was 10 years ago. Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, so he was like in his 50s, just at that point when he picked that out because, well, that wasn't too far after his wife had died, and he was just like, well, fuck it, like, this is just a thing I can do. Yeah. Why not? And he didn't expect it to be as big of a hit as it ended up being, and it kind of reset his career in a second time.
Yeah, that completely
reinvigorated his career.
Yeah, completely just changed the course of his entire career. Him doing Taken, and him leading him to this, because he's working with the same director from Nonstop. It's the same guy he's working with again here.
Okay, that explains a lot then.
Yeah. So maybe they have like a Denzel Washington, Tony Scott situation.
I would say so. Yeah. I would say so, except Denzel tends to. No, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, Denzel tends to be lazier in a lot of movies.
Yeah. So it seems like they have.
So
that
is Liam Neeson lazy in this movie?
No, I think.
Is he at least kind of?
I think he's trying in this movie. I mean, it's not like it's not like dramatic. There's not that much dramaticness that's going on here. He does a decent job for what he's given the material. I mean, a lot of dialogue is bad. It's really bad, and the plot. I think if you really just think about it for a second, like, you can probably come up with like, oh yeah, I bet you this person is that person, and I bet you can probably figure it out. Like, it's kind of predictable. You know what I mean? It might be predictable to some people. Like, oh, I bet you this, and like, I can kind of see this. Also, a lot of the villain motivations are just unnecessary. It's like, well, why did you do this and get Liam Neeson when you could have did this other thing, when you could have like if you're gonna offer somebody $100,000 anyway, why not just get another person, pay them straight up $100,000, get on the train so they can find the person? Like, why even bother with dealing with somebody who may have this morality and like, I don't know if I should or should not do it, and like, what will happen to the person if I do it? Like, why not just get some merciless killer for the exact same money?
Right. I was actually about to say the same thing. Like, is there an actual reason that they pick a rando?
That goes into, I guess, like a little bit of the twist, I guess, why they pick Liam Neeson per se.
Okay.
But it's just like, well, you could have just got, like, you didn't have to do that. Like, you could have just got some merciless killer who doesn't care to find that person and do it. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to. So I mean, but it still works on kind of that B movie level. That's kind of fun. And there's a train crash that looks silly, but it's it's still sort of entertaining. It's still sort of entertaining. And Liam Neeson going around being mad and sweaty, that's kind of funny. That's kind of entertaining.
Oh,
So
talking about my hero.
yeah, so I mean, I would say, I mean, you don't have to go to the theater to go to see this. Just wait till it comes on TV. So I give it a thumbs up for that, just to see it on TV. I think, I think it will keep your interest. If you like something along those lines, or of nonstop, or if you laughed at it, thought it was so bad it was good, maybe you'll do the same thing here with this. So I'll give it a thumbs up and watch it at home. Probably don't go to the theater to go see it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. All right. So to wrap up our movie reviews, there, we're going to talk about the Eminem Chloraseptic remix. Now, everybody here has heard it. Dust, what did you think about it when you heard it there? Better than the whole entire. Better than just the original Chloraseptic, or better than the entire Eminem album?
I mean, I feel like we're in the minority in this, that we just didn't really enjoy any of it.
No, that's the majority. No.
Oh, really?
A lot of people rated the album on their worst of list. So.
Yeah. I thought, like, at least Mather's LP 2 was pretty decent. I still listen to a couple of his songs still there, and you can tell at least he's still talking about something, but it felt like the whole album felt like white noise. So at least compared to that, I thought this was not bad.
Okay. 90s, what
do you think, man?
90s.
90s, what about you?
Yeah, what did you think about it?
Because you skipped the entire album.
Yep. Fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. 90s. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, what I thought about the Chloraseptic remix is that, I thought it was better than the entire album. I thought, I mean that, which is not hard to do because a lot of the songs on there were pretty terrible. Were pretty terrible. And I thought that Eminem really, like, I don't know why he didn't bring this same level of energy to the project. Like, why didn't he?
Yeah, man, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like he was sleepwalking through all of it, even though he was putting his heart into it. Like, he said he was putting, like, I really went back and I wanted to make something. But all of it was bland, and it felt like he had already said and done it. And this one remix is way better than everything on that album, easily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, by far. And you got, 2 Chainz. I can understand, because 2 Chainz was mad when he got left off this song, when when he looked at the track list and he realized he wasn't on it. And it was like, well, why I'm not on it? And you can see why, because I think that he does a really great job with this. Like, he really goes off on this. I think he does really well. I think Fresher, I think he does also a really great job. And when you look at Eminem's verse, and he's talking about people, doing reaction videos and saying, walk on water sucks, and, bitch suck my dick. And y'all saw the track list and had a fit for you, heard it. So you formed your verdict while you sit with your arms crossed. So, I mean, my thing with this is, like, why is he focused so much on other people, like YouTube people or people like that? Like, there's people online criticizing his project so much. Like, why is he so heavily focused on that?
Because he's a rich old man who's in his 40s. He has literally not much really left to write about, and so he's got to focus on something. Before, in the last album, it was pretty much all politics, which, I'm gonna be honest, if you're it's very, very, very hard as an artist, even when they know what's going on, to talk about politics in a entertaining and interesting way. Cough, cough, Lupe Fiasco, cough, cough.
Okay.
Even he doesn't always get off the ground easy on those. So Eminem, yeah, he's occasionally talked politics, but it's always been very interpersonal.
Okay.
So it never felt like he was kind of lecturing the audience.
Okay.
It feels like he's lecturing the audience.
Yeah.
But I thought
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought Walk on Water was like a letter to his fans, like, I'm human too, guys. And then I thought, like, after the backlash of his album and people talking about, like, just the backlash of everything, I thought that this was his rebuttal as another letter.
Yeah,
I will stand by what I said last time when we reviewed the album. Chloraseptic was one of my favorite songs on there, and the remix makes it better. And it's probably, and it's like, I agree with you, Josh. It's probably better than the entire album, which isn't really hard.
Right. I mean, Chloraseptic is the only real rap song on the project that's that entertaining on it. Because like Untouchable and Remind Me, like those are not good at all. And I mean, this one.
Oh yeah, no.
And like this one, yeah, he really needs. I think this one he really went off on here. I mean, does he need the hate to internalize that and to come back with fire? Like he can't just do that on his own. Like because on the record, like Revival, he's trying to talk about political issues. He's trying to talk about Trump. Like, is the state of the country that doesn't anger you enough to write a good record? Like, it has to be people directly talking shit to you, saying that you can't make a good record anymore, that you can't make good music anymore, that your record was terrible, that's one of the worst of the year.
Let me think about it. He's always done well when it comes to quick anger, when he's able to kind of process it. His first early albums are fantastic because he's just living a terrible, terrible life.
Right.
And he's just writing when he knows, and he's really a very skilled lyricist. I mean, for God's sakes, he wrote Stand, probably one of the greatest rap songs ever written.
Yeah.
And even at the height of his career, and that showed that, oh, well, I have fans that are crazy. Well, what if they do take my words seriously? Oh, crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I guess for a while, there was the album Encore, but Encore, everyone gives Encore shit. I'll give Revival more shit because I can listen to a Revival. I'll listen to Encore dozens of times before I listen to the last album.
Right.
But even then, I can understand why people didn't really like it. And then he just took a hiatus. Then he did Relapse, which, was It's also along the not really listenable, but even then it has some few moments. Recovery, I think, was his backlash to everyone saying, well, Encore wasn't that great. And Relapse sucked. No, you suck. And I'm gonna get better. And so I think maybe it's the odds. The odds win it out. So maybe every other album he does better. So Mather's LP2 was pretty okay, pretty good. I liked it. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good. There's some of it that are amazing, like Rap God is fantastic, at least lyrically.
Right.
And speed and technique. So, I don't know. Maybe the next album, after he gets pissed off, he keeps making songs like Chloraseptic Remix. Especially with it, I think he should just embrace the weird kind of, like he seems to know when to make a good beat. I think he should just embrace making a more darker toned beat throughout the entire album and just say, fuck it, I'm just gonna make an interesting, weird album. Like don't get really kind of do the Jay-Z thing where just make an entire theme of an album.
Right.
You did that with LP2 and that kind of worked. Do it with this. Because if you do make something like Chloraseptic Remix, I think you'd actually knock it out of the park and shut people up. But I just don't think Marshall. I don't think he's politically savvy enough to talk about politics. Also, I think most people don't want to hear about politics from a rich white man living inside of a mansion in Detroit.
90s.
Well, you say that, but I just want to say you say that, but that would be every artist out the window at that point.
To be fair, true, but at least Jay-Z made a story about OJ.
Oh, I don't like Jay-Z, and I don't like that album either. It's like, you know what's more important?
Again, I understand, and I'm okay with that. I'm just saying, at least he did that.
Okay, fair enough, though.
Like, you need to at least have that as a caveat.
So
okay, I will agree on it.
So after hearing this, would either of you be excited to hear another Eminem album? Because it sounds like at the end of this verse, Chloraseptic Remix, that he's hinting towards doing another project. So
if he does it like this, sure, that'll pique my interest again. If it's something where he's bringing this kind of energy to it, sure. But please, Eminem, no more fucking slow songs.
Right. No more
Like,
Pink features.
look,
No more
man,
Beyonce
you get
features.
all right. You get one slow song, but it better be lyrically packed.
So
Okay.
this next album should be the exact contrast to what he just did.
Yes.
Like he had one song that was just straight fire, and then the rest
Yeah.
of them were.
He should have. It should be the exact opposite. All of them should be straight fire, and like one or two that are slow that kind of bridge the other songs together.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, like I said before, I'm not the biggest Eminem fan, but if he comes out with an album like that, I will listen. Like I love his early 2000 era stuff.
Yeah. Early
Yeah.
2000s. Yeah. The Eminem Show and Marshall Mathers LP and
Yeah, I didn't want to go through.
Slim Shady
Well,
LP.
Yeah, like I didn't want to go through the whole discography because I know it's about 6 albums I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's just a shame because you can feel the heat on this one compared to the entire previous album. Especially like, fuck you YouTube comments about you and telling me that I'm not good enough anymore. You want to step up the plate and do what you're doing, and I'm like, yeah, come on, man, show us this. Like, no, that's the whole reason why we listen to you, because we can't do it.
Right.
Like that's why we're upset at you, because you're supposed to be one of the kings of hip hop.
I mean, do you think he should give? I mean, it seems like he shouldn't really give those type of people that much energy and time.
I mean, do whatever the hell he wants, man. It's his life. I'm just saying, if he's gonna step up to the stage of producing an album and releasing it to the public, and he doesn't want to be, I want to say, judged by everyone else, then he needs to make an album that is judgeable. If he just wants to make an album and try it out and listen it to himself, I mean, he's got time and money to burn. He can do whatever the hell he wants, but if he's going to come up to the stage, you got to be ready for all the consequences that come with it. And that's including us. That's including what we're doing right now.
Right.
I mean, if Eminem came down and called me and said I was full of shit for everything I just said, all right. I sure. I'm glad you're listening.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess that's true. I mean, people like, Charlamagne the God, he always says, like, if you're on a platform, you're talking shit, don't expect that stuff to come back at you. So you got to be ready to defend your point in which you said. So
exactly.
So if somebody, if he came at somebody directly and asked for a response of like, hey, why don't you like my album? Yeah, I can give him a whole response on why I don't like it, if that was the case. But I would never take away from the fact that he is still one of the greatest rappers. Like I still think he's
so.
One of
Like
the greatest
you can't take a. I think he's afraid that will happen, but as I said, even on the previous album when we talked about how it wasn't good, and I'm like, but his legacy is secure. Like nothing. We have those albums. You have those accolades forever. But if you want to come out with a new one, like you got to be ready for them to be, unfortunately, for them to be compared to the others, even when you're a different person now.
Right.
And he is a different person than he was when he was younger.
Right. Most definitely. Yeah. So I mean, I'm looking forward. If he does come out with another album that's like this, I'm expecting it. Yeah.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm actually looking more forward to what Eminem has next to say than I did at the end of the last album, where I was just like, I was more depressed. This gives me a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Maybe the fire's not all out completely.
Yeah.
It's fading, but maybe it's not gone.
Maybe he's still got one great project left in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that really is, if we really only get one last good or great album for him, he can just walk off. He can be like, you know what, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I think most people would be like, you know what, thanks, Em.
Right.
You go off and hang out with like everybody else in Jay-Z and Aftermath and just be a guest on other people's projects.
Yeah. Like he doesn't really need to make any more albums. He's pretty much good.
Yeah. There's a few songs that he's just been it was on like the Aftermath XXL. He did No Caskets or something. Not No Caskets. It was like one song that he did that it was really good, and it was just a single for them. And I'm like, so when I listened to the whole album, I was like, where was the energy of those singles? or this other individual stuff you just put out.
Right.
So I don't know, but yeah, man, I am looking forward to it. If he brings the same energy he brought to this, and the same vitriol, I think he'll knock it out of the park.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I think he would. Okay, so moving on to talk about Eminem, we're going to talk about somebody else that also was talking shit about Trump. We're going to talk about Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury. Now, did anybody read this other than me?
Man, I never got around to reading it. I'm sorry.
I never got around to reading it. What about you, Dustin?
Read a little.
Now, did you like buy the book, or did you like listen to the audiobook?
I listened to a little bit of the audiobook.
How far did? Because I'm like 2 hours in. I think like 2 hours and 30 minutes in.
I was about I would say 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah, It's hard to know how much of this book you should take seriously, because there's so many errors in it. They say, because like he mixes up Mike Berman and Mark Berman, who are the two brothers. Like he'll mix those people up. Some are like
that's not a good start.
Yeah, like he also like misspelled Hillary Rosin's name. Like he had that name misspelled in the book. He has a different, like he quotes a different conversation at different times. Like in the book, he quotes a conversation. I think they say it was Rupert Murdoch had with Donald Trump, and when he got off the phone with him, he said he called him a fucking idiot. But then he was quoted somewhere else saying that he called him a fucking moron. So So things like that, like those errors in there, it's like, well, how much you should take of this book. And then when people asked him about it, like Chuck Todd from NBC's Meet the Press, so he questioned him about it. He's like, so what about all these errors in here, and what do you think about that? And he never really gives a clear, defined answer. He just says, well, the book speaks for itself.
Okay, so it's a grammar-related mess.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Like, I don't know, like
that doesn't answer our questions at all.
Yeah, and like with the whole Mark and Mike Berman thing, he says that, oh well, I'm sorry that I mixed those two up. That was my bad. I'm sorry about it. I did that. That was my mistake. So, and he's also been questioned in the past for his issues with the truth, and people have also questioned his journalism in the past. And you have you have two people who are completely unreliable as far as questioning authenticity of this book. One being Michael Wolff, and then the other being Donald Trump. I mean, the fact that Donald Trump is that mad about this book, because he did try to block the book from coming out. So it's like, well,
there's got to be some truth in there.
Yeah, so it's got to be something in there that is true. And he did get quotes at first from Steve Bannon, who Steve Bannon was verifying a lot of stuff in the book. Now Steve Bannon has backed away. Now he's kind of apologized for his comments, and he's actually been let go from Breitbart News. He stepped down from there, and now he's like
couldn't happen to a nicer guy, right?
Yeah, and he's like tried to apologize to Donald Trump again, which. Like, I mean, like, listen, bro, if you're going to say what you said, don't be a bitch about it. Don't, goddamn,
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like,
stand by your words, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
don't keep trying to bow down to Trump and his family. And, he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Show him that Trump doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, he wants loyalty, but loyalty is, to him, is easily taken and left. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I don't know why you're trying to be in his good graces again, because you're not gonna get your job back there.
Exactly, and it's like, what was it? What was that? After he won the presidency, he invited what's his name? He invited like one guy who was running against him to eat dinner at a restaurant.
Oh, was it Mitt Romney?
Mitt Romney, and he invited him only because he knew that he was because he wanted him to eat crow. He only wanted to embarrass him.
Right. So I just don't get that. I really don't get, like, Mitt Romney's got money. Like, Mitt Romney's got money. So why are you kissing his ass? Like, do you really want to be in politics that bad? Do you really want to be a politician that bad? You willing to kiss his ass for what?
I think it's one of the yeah. I think it is. I think it is that you have money, but politics is it's another kind of demon. It's its own kind of beast. You need to kind of stay within its own kind of weird ritualistic powers, or you're just not gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of eat crow occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to make it, that's if you're doing it for the money and power, which let's be honest, most of them are.
Yeah. And
so,
like it's like that situation that happened with, Ted Cruz, and Ted Cruz is going to campaign for him even though he was talking shit about his wife. Like, why are you campaigning?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, man.
Why are you campaigning for a dude?
I stand by my word.
Why are you campaigning for a dude that was talking shit about your wife, man? That was
exactly yes, and that your dad is like, I heard, don't know if it's true, but I heard his dad killed JFK.
Right.
Like, is he one of the assassins that helped kill JFK? And I'm like, that's over. like what?
Yeah, I don't.
A, that's insane.
Right. I mean,
and B,
ridiculous.
Even if that was somehow true, which it clearly wasn't.
Right.
That's slander.
Yeah.
It's libel and slander, which he could have sued Trump up the wazoo for, even during the campaign. I mean, let's be honest. Trump has a huge class action lawsuit against him that will never go, just because now he's the president.
Right. And
even then, he just settles everything, so it doesn't really matter, because he's just like, here's a bunch of money, shut up.
Right. But
I mean, in all honesty, whether the book is true or not, whether its grammar is true or not, there may be some things that are real in it, but in all honesty, at this point, who cares? Because nobody's going to do anything about it.
I mean,
the guy has done worse.
I mean, it's like, like this thing happens and then it passes. Because now the new thing now,
I guess the American public just doesn't. Yeah.
Well, the new thing now is that, okay, there's this.
Go ahead.
What was she, a porn star? Like, he paid off a porn star that he was apparently having sex with in the election. He paid her $130,000. So that's the new big topic now that everybody's talking about. So stories change, and then plus people are talking about the comments he made about the other countries, Haiti and all those other places, calling them shitholes. So
you're breaking up a lot, Josh. Just letting you know.
Oh, I'm breaking up a lot? I'm breaking up? What the fuck? Hello?
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot, dude. Just letting you know.
All right. How am I sounding right now?
You're better.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, like I was saying, like the new thing now is with Stormy Daniels, and like this. I think was she a stripper or a porn star?
I think she was a porn. I think she was a porn star.
Yeah, porn star. Who he paid her $100,000. Like, he let his attorney pay her $100,000 to keep her mouth shut before the election, and then plus these shithole country comments. That's what. So just the narrative changes with him daily. So it
does, and it's honestly exhausting.
Yeah.
As someone who majored in criminal justice, or someone who has been experienced with other people who do deal in litigation and stuff, it must be exhausting keeping track of all the things he's done.
Yeah, I mean, just as
like, while you got one case set up, another one springs up.
Right.
It's just a never-ending case file.
I mean, you can nail him probably on a lot of stuff. I mean, you really could.
Oh yeah, man. But who's gonna actually try to sue the president?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That is a very good point.
I mean, if you did, you would have the biggest cojones of all time. Mr. President, here's your subpoena.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Democrats are trying to impeach him, because he does have all these sexual. That's another thing. Also, he's got mounting sexual assault, harassment cases against him. He's got like 16 women.
Yeah, and so did Bill. Yeah, and so did Bill Clinton. We didn't do shit for him either.
I mean, unless we actually see it happen, like in the White House, like it did with Bill Clinton, I guess nothing's happening. I guess.
I guess it's more on the front that the Republicans at this point have just assumed the role of an abused, battered housewife,
Right.
where it's just kind of like, well, he's at least Republican,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, like, or whatever, and it's just whatever. I mean, honestly, whether the book is true or not, which is a shame, I don't know how much true it is, and that's the shame about it. His narrative changes daily, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
whether it's the validity of the book is even right or not. You know.
Are you gonna finish the book or no?
I mean, I paid for the audiobook, so I might as well.
No. Yeah. Audiobook. I didn't know they were that expensive. I know like $24.95. I was like, that's pretty expensive. I was like, why can't they be the same price as the regular book? I was like, what the fuck is that?
Nah, man, audiobooks are super expensive.
Yeah. I was like,
They're like $20, which is insane. I remember, this is old school of me, but I remember when audiobooks were on actual cassettes and you had to put them in individually. Like the Harry Potter book, the audiobooks for those, they were on like, I think it was Harry Potter book 4, had 8 individual cassettes.
Right.
And they had parts in the page and told you what page number each one began and ended.
Wow. I don't
Those
remember
before
that.
CDs, man.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
You youngins.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess I might as well finish the book. I bought it. Might as well finish it.
Yeah, then you can turn it later.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to talk about Fire and Fury. We're going to talk about Apple and them speaking of being sued, we're going to talk about Apple being potentially
With
sued.
Fire and Fury.
Yeah, being sued by France here. So, you know, it was always a long-standing kind of rumor for a long time that Apple slows down their phones so it makes you get another phone. Like that's always been like a big running joke with a lot of people.
Conspiracy fact.
Yeah, and Apple recently, like I think it was like a couple weeks ago, that they said that we slow down older iPhones because of the battery and we don't want it to be damaged and so on. So we do that to protect people. And a French activist group says it has filed a complaint against Apple over revelations that the tech giant remotely slowed the performance of older iPhone models. French law since 2015 has made planned obsolescence, deliberately reducing the useful life of products, a crime. And Stop Planned Obsolescence announced the filing yesterday. And Apple has already faces several lawsuits in the U.S. after users found that updates to models, including the iPhone 6 and iPhone 7, slowed the phone's performance. Apple has acknowledged the practice, arguing that what is called smoothing was necessary to protect the components of older phones to prevent unexpected shutdowns as their batteries aged. Now, so do you guys think that them slowing down phones, you think that they're really doing it to like preserve the phone, or do you really think they're just doing that to force people to buy newer iPhones?
I think it's a bit of both. My cynical side says yes, it's completely doing it just to save them a buck, a few. But I also think there is an actual probably desire to preserve it long term. But I think realistically, they're probably only doing it just so that you'll shove up the cash to upgrade to their newest one. Get the rest of the holdouts.
And I agree with Dusk, but I go the extra extent and say that their overall goal is to make you buy their new product, but they have a safety net in saying, okay, we're going to slow this down so that it benefits you. See, we're not evil at all. It's like they're not in the wrong per se, but either way it goes, people are suing them, so they found a way to say they're in the wrong because they're not putting it in not bold print, in the fine print at least.
Yeah.
Well, in the fine print, they aren't letting the product at its actual peak. They're degrading it, whether they want to call it or not.
Well, now that they announced this, a lot of people are really mad about it. They did announce a iPhone battery replacement cost, where you can go in and you can if the phone is out of warranty, you can go in, pay $30 for for just a battery replacement, so your battery is up to date, and you wouldn't just have to completely just get a new phone.
Well, Samsung did the same thing when their phones exploded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Apple phones ain't exploding on nobody. Well, actually, I did see one video. Their phones did explode on them. Like they,
I mean, well, any phone
yeah,
could explode, but it's not an epidemic. I know what you mean.
yeah. So they have offered that, option to people if they wanted to do that. But a lot of people, I mean, they don't. I mean, a lot of people are just thirsty to get new iPhones anyway. Like even if they have like the iPhone 7, they're just thirsty to get the iPhone 10. And they will wait in line all day, every day to get it. I mean,
Still, I thought that actually. I remember the latest iPhone. Not the iPhone X, because actually, now that I think about it, the iPhone X had the opposite effect. But the iPhone 9, what was the one before that?
it was the
It
8.
was 8.
Yeah, it was 8.
Yeah,
It was 8, and then I skipped 9 and went straight
you
to
know,
10.
I don't get why that's a trend now between Samsung and iPhone, but whatever. As this iPhone 8, people weren't showing up in line the first day for that too much. But the iPhone X was packed, from what I remember.
Probably because
No.
they came out around the same time, right? They came out at the same time.
No, I think it was like close enough to a month apart,
Right.
or
But
2 weeks at least.
so, but as somebody watching it, it's like, well, why would I get the iPhone 8 when I can get the 10? And like that's the real newest, latest one. So it's really no point to get the 8 if the 10 is gonna come out in like a couple of months. And
Yeah, that's true. I can't argue with you on that. And then that's the one that people, like the scalpers, are going to make the most money off of.
yeah, like there was one dude I was watching the news, and there was one dude, he was waiting in line for the iPhone 10, and he was like, well, I already bought one online, but I still want to wait in line and buy another one so I can have another one just in my hand. It's like he couldn't just wait till it shipped to him. He's like, well, I gotta get it now. I want to buy it now so I can just hold it. I'm like, damn, bro. like why are you so thirsty for this shit, bro? Like you just bought it online. It's going to ship to you. Like why are you so why you got to get it that night? Like that's just this is crazy.
Because of this guy and more people like him, they're gonna say that buying phones on day one is gambling. They're gonna label that as gambling sooner or later.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, it kind of is.
It's like it's some type of addiction or something. It's like, man,
I mean, like you should learn, like the way we used to buy. If I may make a video game parable, we used to buy video games based on what were the games that came with a console at the time. Now it's like, well, we'll see how it is down the road. Like no, you need to come up with like, I mean, I think the Switch had a good job of it coming out with Breath of the Wild for the Switch, which was already for the Wii U, but had the Switch.
Right.
And because 1-2 Switch wasn't going to save it. Yeah. And the promise of a Mario Odyssey, that was, I think, another reason why the Switch really sold. And besides innovativeness. But other than that, Xbox One didn't really come out with something super big. It came out with Rise. And PS4 came out with Knack. Ooh, real system sellers right there, guys.
I forgot about Rise, actually.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck is Rise? Like, oh,
right. Rise is that a Roman centurion. I mean, it looks super beautiful, but it's bland combat. It's more like a tech demo.
Yeah, like that one. Don't get me started, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
So I honestly, I do think that I still hold out hope that there is at least was a modicum of desire to hold out and help the phones, but yeah, 90s is probably right. They probably just did that just with the caveat of, oh, we're trying to do something right here, so we're not in the wrong, guys, when they're clearly in the wrong.
Yeah, and they go to business meetings. It's like, okay, we need to make more money.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. They're all sociopaths, anyways.
Yeah.
And it's like I just want to say that they know it's going to get out there sooner or later. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that's a big point of it.
Yeah. Somebody at the head of the team is like, oh man, it took till 2017 or late 2018 or whatever to get this stuff figured out. Like people didn't know that for years, but either way, just it's madness.
Yeah, but I do see I do still see some people like iPhone 5s or iPhone 6s. I do see still people with like older iPhones. Like I don't think I have yet to see somebody with an iPhone 10. I don't think I've seen anybody with that yet. Not that I've seen personally. I mean, have you, like walking down the street, have you guys seen anybody like with an iPhone 10 or iPhone 8, something like that? I mean,
I mean, in all honesty, I don't. Other than my friends, whatever, I don't pay attention to people's phones. And
Oh,
if I saw like a bezel-less screen, I wouldn't know if it's off. I can't say off-brand, but I wouldn't know if it was one of the phones that aren't the top three.
mm,
Because bezel-less phones are out there. Phones that look just like the iPhone X are out there far and wide.
mm, okay. But just to like wrap up this article here, by Fortune.com is where I found this. It says Apple has been sued in Israel over the issue, but the activist group in France has uniquely strong criminalizing similar practices implemented in 2015. The criminalization of planned obsolescence is intended to push for longer lasting appliances and reduced waste. The activist group has previously filed complaints against printer markers HP, Canon, Epson, and Brother, claiming they program their printers to see printer cartridges as empty even with 20% of their ink remaining. That case is still under investigation.
I knew it.
Case is still under investigation, but executives with the company face possible jail time if convicted under French law. Damn, they don't fuck around over there in France. Damn, they don't fuck around about their technology. Jeez.
Jail time for like, man, okay.
They said that the case is still under investigation, but executives with the company face possible jail time if convicted under French law. Huh. Damn.
That is impressive, if I do say so myself.
According to the French news site, the local punishment in such cases can also include serious financial penalties. Jurisdiction may be an issue if and when the case against Apple proceeds. According to compliance specialist CGS, the French law only applies to French manufacturers, but only one small iPhone component is reportedly manufactured in France. So they may use that as a loophole that only one part is manufactured in France to get around that, to say that they can sue them and have it be worthy of them.
Hey man, whatever works.
Yeah, but
and I'll say it now: no one's gonna see jail time.
In Apple, probably not. No.
I will be amazed if someone sees jail time. I will be legitimately amazed. But yeah, you're probably right. 90s. They might just at best, it'll either be dismissed or it'll go into a we have to recoup this amount of money for this and set up a program to do this.
Yeah.
And that'll be like, oh, we'll set up a program where we extend the battery life of all previous models if you want to come in and blah 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 blah.
And
but it's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
We were just trying to help the consumer.
Yeah.
By not telling them that you were helping them? Like, what type of...
Yes, exactly. We were just trying to help the consumer, as the judge, that would they say, by not telling them about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, do you think this is going to have a big dramatic effect on Apple at all, as far as people?
No.
No,
Nah.
not at all.
People forget.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but
the iPhone 11 will come out and everyone will forget again.
Yeah, like even like things like this happen in general where people just tend to forget. But with Apple,
honestly, I'm still on my iPhone 4 at this point,
Mm-hmm.
where its battery is really dying very quickly now.
Right.
But
have
I
you
don't want
updated the OS?
I don't want to update up because then my headphone jack is gone.
Wait, really?
No, yeah, the iPhone lost its headphone jacks a while ago.
I mean, but wait, what does that mean for your phone? You have a headphone. Oh, you mean you don't want to upgrade the phone? My bad.
Yeah, I don't want to upgrade the phone.
Right.
I like my headphone jack.
Well, you know what?
But what about the
Actually,
the operating system?
Yeah. What about that?
The operating system?
Yeah.
If they could find a way to put the OS on the previous phone, sure.
I mean,
that's not what they're doing.
Have you updated it to the most recent one that you can update to, or?
I have.
Oh well, yeah, more than likely, man. I think your phone is the main poster child of all this. I think your phone is the one.
Yeah, its performance is shit now.
Yeah, so you got screwed, buddy. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. You live with what you live with.
Yeah, you can always jailbreak it, and well, I don't know if that's even legal anymore. Well, yeah, jailbreaking is legal. But
Jailbreaking in its sense is illegal.
Yeah.
No, jailbreaking, I looked it up. If I remember right, jailbreaking is legal now. You have
Okay.
to go to a provider to do routing to get it like switched over to different carriers or whatever.
Well, in any case, I might have. I'm not gonna do it. I might just see if I can get a better battery.
Okay.
I like my model.
All right. So you get the $30 battery
I don't know,
replacement.
man. We'll see in the future though.
Yeah, $30 battery replacement.
Hey man,
That's not
it
bad.
just
If you do that.
no
That's cheap.
$30 battery replacement for an old phone. I'll do that easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the battery itself, I thought was $30. Like, okay, that's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad. And asking for that easy replacement on a phone store, like, look, I just want a battery replacement.
Yeah.
And at that point, at least a 6-year-old battery getting replaced is not bad, especially with its constant use. Because I don't want to give it up, man.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Hey man, just trade in for it.
No, I would trade up if the phones weren't so fragile, didn't break so easily, and there's no headphone jack.
Hey man, you don't have to trade up, man. Just trade along the same line and get an Android, man. I got a Note 3 right here. I'm right here in the same era as you, man. Just get a Note 3.
I mean,
Yeah.
Android.
I mean, you could just buy Bluetooth headphones.
All right. We'll talk about that later. Come on.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this later. We got other things to talk about.
Yeah.
Including disasters or almost near disasters, this me upgrading to a new phone, the whole Hawaii Japan situation.
Yes. Because Japan just recently had a similar issue where they didn't fucked up like Hawaii did. Because just days after the missile alert was accidentally sent to residents in Hawaii, Japan's national broadcaster Tuesday mistakenly sent a text message alerting that North Korea had launched a ballistic missile aimed at the nation. So this is, I don't know, who's running this stuff. I don't know if somebody should be added in a group chat. I don't know what the fuck keeps happening where these things keep happening. I mean, these things are kind of life and death.
I think it's a test. Like, I think it was a literal test, and it worked.
Yeah.
Sadly, it worked.
Yeah, because they said
was this an experiment or a test?
In either case, it proved that the system reaches people.
Yeah, I mean, well, hey, at least you know that people are prepared for it and prepared to receive the information, I guess.
Which, man, that is you gotta imagine you're just walking around, having a pretty regular day, and then all of a sudden, and then you hear a text message. This is not a drill. A ballistic missile sent to Hawaii.
Wait, for the record, did they actually put on they put it on the TVs and radios and the cell phones, but did they actually do the sirens? I haven't heard that much yet.
It says right here, the alert from NHK News retracted minutes later had advised residents to immediately evacuate and seek shelter. Patterns of North Korea missile launch is enormous. The correction notice said no further explanation for the error was provided, although the broadcaster clarified during an on-air apology that no government alert had been issued. 2 false alarms are a reminder of the fears of conflict with North Korea after years of escalating tension over its missile and nuclear weapons programs. So I don't know if they don't say exactly if there was a sirens. This is per USA Today. They don't say if there was like a sirens, but they just said that it was retracted minutes later. But minutes later in those type of scenarios are like, I mean, that could be hours for people probably reading and going, "What the fuck?" Like, reading.
Not just minutes later to people is a lifetime of fear.
Yeah, and
especially like in Japan, I'll be like, "Oh shit!" Like that's a nuke coming our way.
Oh, in Japan, from what I know, it happened today.
Yeah, it happened today. Today. That is some scary, scary stuff. Yeah. I have friends in Japan.
Is there a pattern that are we being hacked? Like, what's happening here?
Maybe somebody's just giving.
If it was a black hat attack, they need to be fucking arrested.
I mean, of course.
No, dude. I mean, not even just any more than any other mischief level. We'll do this or we'll do that. Screwing around. You put people's lives in danger.
Maybe it's just the people trying to get people used to what's actually really going to happen. Maybe it's them trying to just get used to that.
Jesus.
And that's why I said, is it an experiment or is it a test?
Because
if that is a legit test of what North Korea is capable of, shit, man.
Because
I'm trying my best to remember this movie that somebody posted in a Twitter post. They said, "What if this is like this one movie where they're just putting this out there to test us to see like how would we react?" Similar to that Twilight episode that you spoke up a while back, Josh. With they put the neighbors against each other, pretty much.
Oh yes, that episode. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe this is all just a test of people saying how would we react in cases go down. In Hawaii, I mean, the emergent like that happened with the emergency management employee who set off a statewide panic. So he by accidentally sending out a false alarm about again another ballistic missile had been temporarily reassigned. And he's been, temporarily reassigned. Now, I don't know why he wasn't fired. That seems like something you would be fired for, because you had literally one job and you fucked it up. But they said there are no plans to fire him or identify him publicly by a state official.
Oh, don't identify him publicly.
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't identify him publicly. Just
wait. What?
No, I mean, look, guy, whoever made the mistake, I don't want people to go up and give him shit and beat him up.
Right.
No, but we
already suffered enough.
We already know who the person is. It's actually a female. Her name is Dee Dee from Dexter's Lab. She just saw a button and she just had the.
All
right.
That was a good one.
It said the employee has worked for the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency for 10 years and set the missile alert to cell phones across the state by picking the wrong option on his computer for a routine drill and then confirming his choice, according to Richard Raposa, the agency's public information officer. So it sounds like it was supposed to be a test at first, it's supposed to be just like a regular drill, but I guess he hit the wrong one and made it more for a serious, for actually a life-threatening one instead.
Whoops.
Yeah. So maybe he had too many tabs open in his computer, fumbling around, just accidentally clicked it maybe. And Richard Raposa said, "We're not going to take action till we have all the facts," adding that the employees have been temporarily reassigned to a part of the agency's emergency operations center where he does not have access to the warning system. Of course. Yeah, duh. Yeah, he's not going to be touching that shit for a long time, if ever again.
Of course.
And Mr. Raposa declined to describe the employee's new duties. I'm just wondering also with these false alarms, because I haven't read any reports of suicides that may have happened because of those, false alarms. So, that may also happen too. Like somebody sends out these false alarms, like, hey, a missile's coming. There would probably be some people who would maybe jump outside their on their house if they're living in like a high story, apartment. Just like fuck it. Why?
Yeah,
not?
Rather than a bomb coming to kill us all, some people might jump.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any stories. I don't mean to be morbid, but I wonder if there's any stories like that of people doing stuff like that.
I've just Google searched the word, not just now, but ever since that day, I just want to keep posted on it. I keep searching up the word Hawaii. I haven't seen anything in the headlines, at least.
You might have to search a little more. I was worried. I think what the main thing was, especially I hope in Japan, nobody offed themselves either over this, because it was really close minutes later. Like, oh, no. Sorry, our bad.
Yeah. Now, in Hawaii, it took 38 minutes. It took the agent to send a corrective alert rescinding the warning on Saturday. So
oh my God, so 30 minutes?
Yeah, 38. It took a long time.
As weird as this sounds, I feel like I can understand that because there's probably so much going on behind this.
Right. But 38 minutes is 38 minutes.
For the people, yeah, that's a long time to panic.
For the people, that is a long time to mull over your imminent death.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh, man.
I don't even know what I'd be thinking about.
If nothing else, that made a lot of people that day rethink their lives.
Yeah. Like I've seen people people told stories of hiding in closets. You see a video out there of a father putting his children down in the sewers because he thinks well, this is the safest place we could possibly be.
To be fair, he's not wrong.
Yeah, it's more fortified than his house. You only got I don't want to say he only had 38 minutes, but it's only a short time that you would have in general.
In general, if a missile was coming from North Korea, you would have approximately I would say 28 to 22 minutes.
Actually, now that I think about it, you're exactly right, because
Yeah.
I found out that if they were to send a missile to us and the U.S. wanted to retaliate, I read an article on Vox.com, and they were saying that it would take approximately 30 minutes to do a whole process of sending the order to Trump, him getting a briefcase, whatever they call that thing. They call it football. And then he does the whole process of shipping another nuke off to them. So that would take a 30-minute process, and that's when I think it would actually hit them.
Well, you can just kind of cut that time, because they can probably just DM them on Twitter, right? They can just probably cut that time in half.
No, but it has to be through official channels.
Ah, okay.
By the way, in which the individual who has the football case, giving it to the president, must be handcuffed to said football case.
Oh, so it is like the movies.
Yeah, it is in the actual article. It actually has to be. It always must be on their person at all times the minute they leave, just in case some idiot tries to take it from them.
Right.
I used to always look at that and laugh at it. It's like, handcuffed to a briefcase, I guess. Okay.
No, it's like, no, it's because they know people are stupid.
Right.
I just figured there was other ways to go about doing that, but okay, well.
That's also why the briefcase can't even, can only be opened by the individual that has it.
Yeah.
Because he has the only key. And even then, that's just to open it. The president has the other key to enact it. They need both keys to actually activate it.
Yeah.
Hey,
so even if the guy took it, it's useless.
I'll say this much: it makes sense, but it just seems so old school. Like, I'm like, we don't have a more modern method to this.
Well, that's the point. I mean, the more modern,
the point.
Yeah, it keeps it more safe. The old school it is, like, you got to get two keys and do all that. It keeps it more safe. Like, you don't want something.
It does, because some black hat could be a dick and hack into the nuclear program and launch all the missiles.
Okay, fair enough.
Or
that's a damn good point.
Or we keep it at a 2-key system, have it handcuffed, and make it as old school as possible so no one can hack it. I'll pick that option.
Yeah, I mean, but this is some pretty scary stuff. I hope everybody.
It is.
Yeah, everybody's okay, and everybody, 38 minutes is a long time.
38 minutes is a long time to mull over imminent destruction.
Japan, I hope they're doing okay. I mean, they retracted it a lot earlier. Minutes later.
I think it was 6 minutes, 8 minutes later.
This one, the USA Today article I'm reading, USA Today, they're not giving an exact time. They just say minutes later. That's what they say.
So I'd say about 4 to. NHK is pretty good at either fixing their mistake or doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd say probably about 6 to 8 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's why I was curious. I'm like, damn, 38 minutes. But that would have also, after 38 minutes had passed, the missile would have already arrived.
I bet you people don't know that at the time.
White.
I mean, people probably don't know.
No,
just
I'm being honest.
Running around.
No, you wouldn't have noticed the time. But if somebody like me who is paranoid, I would have already put the timer. I'm gonna be honest. My first thought was like, well, shit, I got the timer. Get a car, bounce. It's like where I live, unfortunately, I'm screwed no matter what happens.
Yeah, I think North Korea hates Chicago the most. I think.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hey man, they have Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think that's what he said. I think didn't he say that one time? Like, that's what he would target. I think.
Yeah, he's one of they Detroit. And I'm like, in all honesty, I'd be like, you know what? You go right ahead. We have the Aegis system to knock your shit out of the water. Honestly, the scariest thing about North Korea and launching the missiles, which is just completely terrifying. But the problem is, if they ever launch a missile, I'm just gonna be honest, North Korea as a nation is dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, it is. Once they have launched a missile, they've signed their death warrant.
Yeah.
Because China won't protect them then. Russia ain't gonna protect them. They're all by the lonesome. War with North Korea would last 3 to 4 days. Less than a week.
I'm sorry to laugh at that, but would that be like the first in history?
That would technically the war in Iraq lasted less than a week or so. It's initial less than 2 weeks.
Mm.
Very quickly. It's just that we've stayed there.
Yeah.
The occupation has been incredibly long.
Yeah.
Huh. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
Also, the Spanish-American War was supposed to be the quickest war, as it was over, especially that time period. It was less than a month, I think.
Huh. Wow.
We won that war.
Well, yeah,
But
comparatively, that's still like.
comparatively at the time when it could take months.
Yeah. Yeah. But
No, we won that real quick.
yeah. So
Um,
at least you know.
but yeah, no.
Yeah.
In the Guinness World Book of Records, North Korea would probably be the easiest takeover of all time. The most would be like destroying all the nuclear silos and getting rid of all that. But the occupation would be incredibly quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would feel, honestly, the only thing that I would feel bad about it is I know Trump would probably use the nukes against North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to.
And honestly, the North Korean people, as much as bad as some of them are, they're mostly just good, decent people brainwashed by a system of hate.
Right.
And they don't deserve that. They don't deserve to be obliterated from the madmen that run it.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true.
So on that sour note.
Yeah, so 90s, you'll probably send us off talking about CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. What tech topics you got for us right there?
Okay, so the Consumer Electronics Show, a place where we found various forms of AI roboticry, AR, VR, some self-driving cars, electric vehicles, as you may say. Just if you could choose one topic, what would you guys like to hear about right now?
I'll pick the vehicles, the self-driving vehicles. I'll go with that.
Okay, so let's see. Biden's, I've never heard of this company, by the way, but Biden's concept electric vehicle, they're trying to make it go for like $45,000. They have cameras all over the place. You got your mirrors are cameras. It's driving itself. It's watching itself. It's doing everything.
Okay.
The steering wheel has a touchscreen in it. I don't know if you can watch TV on it. I haven't found that part out yet.
That seems like a really bad fucking idea.
I don't know where the airbag's gonna go. Like, does it flip up and just break the screen? Like,
Don't need no airbags when it's driving itself.
I mean, wait. I mean, you need some type of airbag. Like,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh yes, here at Biden's, we do not need airbags because we are always efficient.
Exactly. It's like, oh, we'll never get into an accident. We don't need no airbags.
Yes, powered with Amazon Alexa.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, that's another trend of CES. Like, as of last year, everything is powered by Amazon Alexa. Why do you think he became a trillionaire? But we'll talk about that later. Okay. Yeah, so it actually greets you when you walk up to the door. It'll say, "Hi, Josh. Nice to meet you. Where are we going today?"
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
That'd be my first one. Don't talk to me, robot.
Don't worry. I'm pretty sure in the second model they'll give you your coffee in the morning, so you'll be all right.
No, I don't trust machines. You know me.
No, I don't blame you. It's just usually things like that. Don't talk to me. I've had my coffee.
Fair enough.
But yeah, this has level 3 autonomy, and I don't exactly know what the levels are.
What does level 3 autonomy mean?
I have no idea. I probably should have researched that. I'm sorry for that, but
yeah, you'll get back to me on that later.
Exactly, like level 3 autonomy. So it's I think that's pretty much standard if I had to guess.
Okay.
Like it can do everything you need it to do in every situation. It's kind of double parking everything since people don't do that on driver tests anymore apparently. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Okay.
Now, Josh, what was the car that you were interested in? Was that the car?
Yeah, that was a self-driving car.
Yes, and I'm getting sidetracked right now. Looking at AR stuff.
So a level 3 autonomy, it means the driver must be able to take over at any time. Okay. So like there's a traffic jam or something like that. But for the most part, the car manages most aspects of driving, including monitoring the environment. The system also prompts the driver to intervene when it encounters a scenario it can't navigate. For the most part, the car can steer, accelerate, and brake in most circumstances. But it's like a conditional automation. That's level 3. There are 5 levels of autonomous, especially for cars. The 5th level is just pure, fully automated. Doesn't need any. It's good for any condition and doesn't need a human at all. But level 3 is like, you need to help sometimes.
Okay.
But you don't have to be fully participant all the time. It's conditional.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not familiar with the actual name. I was looking for that card right now, but I'm pretty sure the card that I'm bringing up next has level 5 autonomy.
Yeah.
Because they mix VR with autonomous driving.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they put you in a car, they filmed everything, and they threw on an Oculus Rift onto your head, and you're just enjoying a nice cruise to an alien plane or something.
Okay. Just in case people get bored with driving, like in case they get bored with it or something.
Yeah, in the future, man, we're just gonna get bored. We're gonna have our chairs turn around, and we're gonna have a nice dining table, have meetings or whatever. Even to the point where they're making mobile cities. Like they're trying to like create offices on wheels and just create a what's it called, a modular e palette is what they're calling it.
Okay.
And link up together, I believe. They can just be repurposed for anything. Like one had like a pizzeria or something like that, had delivering food. One would be turned into like an Uber or ride share. One would be like a laboratory. They just have like a flat surface that can have the room itself, or I can't really say room, but the fixture, I guess I'll call it. Like it's big enough to walk around.
So you said like a.
But yeah, they'll just prop it down onto a.
You said pizza
Oh, go ahead.
delivering. You said a pizza delivering car or something. Is that what you said?
Oh, I'm sorry, man. You're breaking up.
I said you said a pizza delivering car is what you said.
No, you were breaking up, man.
I said pizza delivering car. Is that what you said?
Oh, he's gone, man. See, man, the autonomous cars don't want him to be free, so.
Hello.
Yeah, he's gone. The autonomous cars took him away. Take him away, boys. But anyway, the Toyota's e-palette is multifunctional, like I said, to be used for any
hello?
situation, and it's a. Huh?
Yo, yeah. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, they're just they can just be used for anything, and they're going to be for the most part taken over by corporations. I don't think anybody's gonna own this stuff like me or you.
Okay.
So yes, to finish off the autonomous. Oh, go ahead.
So is it just like experimentation stuff to see what they can do?
No, I think they actually plan to have this on the street the same way we have CTA, the same way we have public transportation. Like I think this is like I've told you various times about like flying vehicles, and they want to put that everywhere for the super rich. This would be the same in the terms of corporations wanting to make the most bang for their buck, where they can just reconvert it to whatever they need to at the time.
Okay. Huh. What do you have any products that were like really terrible, that were like the worst at all? Something that you were just not impressed by?
Yeah, I told you, man. Like I'm different when it comes to that. Like if it's the worst, then I don't want to know about it.
Okay.
It's because I've seen various lists where it's like the worst of CES, and I'm like I'm already drained from all this stuff I did research on to begin with. I don't want to see the worst. Like if it's some garbage, then it's some garbage.
Okay. Other than vehicles,
But,
do you have anything else?
Oh yeah, for the last autonomous cars, the Rinspeed concept car from Harman, and these are all concept cars. That's what always bothers me. But either way, they're just trying to give us like a taste of what it could be, so they can talk back to the investors, say, oh, okay, well maybe we should add that feature. Yeah, it's electric vehicle, of course, autonomous. The chassis separates from the multiple cabins that they can have on it, the same way as the e-palette was. So this may become a trend where I'm seeing the flying cars are doing this as well, where they're just having like a flat. Anybody, Josh? I think you're familiar with a pallet jack, right?
Yeah.
Like lifting up crates, whatever. Yeah, like imagine if every car was an electric pallet jack.
Okay.
And every pallet or like container that was on top of it is the housing that you sit in. That's pretty much what we're gonna get to in the future.
Okay. Sounds.
And this car itself.
Yeah.
It sounds what exactly?
That sounds interesting, I guess.
Yeah, and it gets crazier, man. This car can recognize your face. It has facial recognition. It'll I believe it'll greet you as well as soon as you come to the car. It has cameras on the side.
Mm-hmm.
It has Harman sound system, and if you know about, I think it's Harman Kardon, if I remember right.
Okay.
You know their sound is crisp. The speakers are in the seat as well. It has an iris scanner, so extra security. Um,
Christ.
yeah, very futuristic 80s TV show, movie, whatever. Like, it has a personal movable hanging screen, and I think it has about four of those, so that everyone in the car has a screen they can either like write on. I think it's more like a tablet, so you can just share your screen over like on a swivel. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Should I add more color to it? Okay, let me fix that up.
Okay.
So yeah, the cars of the future are looking pretty crazy. Any comments on that part before I move on to AR? That is.
I mean, what's the price on these things?
This concept has no price.
Okay.
The first one I spoke up of, it was 45,000, which wasn't bad.
Okay.
I mean, 45,000 is bad.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
Hey man, your car's got Alexa in it.
I
That's
mean,
not saying much, but still.
yeah.
But yeah,
what does that matter? I mean,
yeah, I don't care about Alexa. I was trying to hype it up. I'm not a car salesman, man. I'm sorry, but yeah, $45,000. It's like, I think most cars go for like a good 35,000 as a good standard. I think the Tesla Model 3, that is their most affordable electric vehicle, is $35,000. So
mm,
45 isn't that bad.
okay.
And the rest of them are just concepts, so they don't have anything at the moment.
Okay.
And to move on to AR, we have the Vuzix Blade, the smart glasses. And this is essentially just the Google Glass, the HoloLens, just put in more of a nice shades type look, or how do I want to say it? Like more like the police glasses that you will see on an average police officer, except they're clear
Kind of like
glasses.
aviator shades.
Not aviator, because I feel like HoloLens is more aviator. These would be kind of like the nerdy type glasses that you see nowadays. Because it's
Like
not rounded, it's more
like
edgy.
like something
Sure.
like Questlove, like something like that, like his kind of glasses.
Yeah, more like that. That fits it perfectly.
Okay.
And yeah, for the most part, it's just your standard AR glasses. Like you see a little small screen. It's powered all in the headset itself. Some people would actually mistake it for regular glasses until they see like a little glaring small projector showing your screen or whatever. It's like, what's that little light out the side of your eye? Oh, that's just a twinkle in my eye, baby.
To be also fair, the reason why people didn't like Google Glasses is that people would record them.
Oh yeah. Was that video or audio?
It was video.
Yeah, that's a big thing that I'm noticing. Like people, whenever I see anything from CES with recording options on like your body, they make sure that there's a light showing or something. Like
Yeah.
they're very concerned about their consumers being worried about the privacy of it all.
Yeah, because like they start recording, like, are you like that? Just look like regular eyeglasses. People just don't assume that that has the capability to record even on a decent monitor. So that sucks,
Well, on the
and
bright
we
side,
don't want that to happen.
these are coming out
Mhm.
soon, and they actually don't have any camera involved.
Okay.
It's more of just
Okay.
like a flat overlay. It doesn't map your terrain or anything like that.
Sure.
And it's also voice controlled. It has games. It has Firefox to web browse. It has apps. Uh,
Totes.
and then it uses Bluetooth and Alexa, of course.
Why Alexa?
Alexa is in everything. Like I told you, Jeff Bezos runs the world.
That is like, it's not even that she's a good voice either.
I mean, were you gonna get Cortana on the case?
Get Siri.
No, man, I should be able to pick whatever voice I want.
Well, technically, you could like with most like I'm imagining this is Android based. With most Android things, you can do whatever you want to. Like you just gotta go in there and get down and dirty with it.
Hey man, if that's what I have to do, I should have like if you're gonna make me embrace robotics and stuff, I should be able to customize whatever feature I want out of that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this much: they're not gonna tell you that right off the bat. Like they're
Oh
just gonna
hell
give you
no.
Alexa because they already have their deal with Amazon or whatever.
Exactly, and I'm like, that's nice. Let me jailbreak this.
Exactly. That's all you
That's
gotta do
nice.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just whatever.
Now, how comparable are these glasses to something like the Google glasses? Like something that more people know. Like,
Yeah.
They're not $13,000 from what I know. Like
Okay.
they haven't released a price on this from what I know. But wait, no, it came out. It's coming out soon, so they should have a price. I'll give you a search later on that in a minute. But yeah, the Vuzix Blade is probably going to be $500 if I had to guess.
Okay.
That is a lot more acceptable than 13,000.
That's not
Yeah,
bad. It's not bad.
and the HoloLens for comparison is 3,000.
Well, now why is it
Better than 13.
why is it so much more? Why is the HoloLens so much more?
It maps your entire room. And have you seen the videos where it's like a Kronker? They have like a knockoff version of Kronker. I think they they put him on crack or something. I don't know. But they have a Kronker. He's walking on your bed. He's bouncing off your couch.
Oh,
Well, you mean Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Yes,
And he's not. Is he cursing and talking and drinking?
he's kid friendly now, and he looks like he's anorexic.
That actually enrages me a little bit.
I am
That
so
upsets me.
confused.
I am upset now. Conker, the whole point of Conker, the whole point of his character was that he was not the kid-friendly character that he was made in Banjo, like in that racing game, Diddy Kong Racing. He was a filthy, funny character, and now they've made him into an anorexic kid-friendly. I don't want Conker to tell me anything about my life.
Hey man, I don't make the tech, man. I'm just the news guy.
all
They,
right.
they're doing the most craziness.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with this.
If you want to add to the kid-friendly stuff that we got going on now, there is a toothbrush that I actually forgot how it works. It's called the Calibri Magic Smart Toothbrush,
Okay.
and I think you pull up a phone. I think that's how it works. So I think a kid is brushing with one hand and holding up the phone with the other hand, and they're playing a game against gingivitis. They're brushing their teeth. They're fighting little alien gingivitis.
Oh,
That's
right.
actually kind of cute.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's kind of cute, and it's cute for kids. And like, hey, like that'd actually be a really neat way to like get parents involved if they want to like show like, there's we can make this kind of fun. It doesn't have to feel like a chore, you know?
Like a game that the family.
Yeah, it's a game, so that's not too bad. I can accept that. I mean, I thought you were about to say like, oh well, like the toothbrush, you brush his teeth, it'll talk with you. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they've done that already at this point. I'm pretty sure there's
Yeah,
toothbrushes that play music when you activate them.
Really?
yeah. In all honesty, they probably have everything but this at this point.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to dentistry in America, like we're the number one for that, so we have technology for that.
Yeah, we do. We are the number one dentistry. That's why it's such a great field to be in.
How much is the toothbrush?
And I haven't found out actually. I don't know if they're gonna release this soon.
Okay.
All right. Well, is that all? You got more?
The last AR thing is something. It looks like it's from Nerf, but I never found out if it was actually from Nerf. I think it's from a company named Merge. It's called Merge 6 Degree of Freedom Blaster.
Okay.
And it's pretty much a laser tag that you put your phone onto. Like I thought it was a Nerf gun, but I never did verify that. You put it onto a Nerf gun, and you're shooting your friends, and you get to see them through the screen, and you get to see like the laser shooting as you do it.
Okay.
It's using the AR platform from Apple and Android, so you can just use any phone for the most part. AR Core and AR Kit, which is to each of them respectively. It uses 3 triggers and 6 degrees of freedom, and a button on the side, I believe. So just all of those respond to the phone in real time through Bluetooth, I believe. And pretty much like if you ever find yourself just wanting to like let your imagination go freely, like, well, I don't want to say let your imagination go freely, but just have more fun where it's like, I want to do laser tag, but I don't want to go to the arcade. The arcade is kind of dying. You just pop my phone on this little device. The device probably won't even cost much. They still haven't released the price yet. But I just want to go outside, have fun with my kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty nice. Yeah, those are some, I think, really interesting tech stuff there. I probably wouldn't get any of that stuff, but I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, if I had the money to spare like that, I'd probably maybe get some of that. You know.
Oh yeah, when it comes to things at CES, it's for the rich. It's for the rich and famous.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I guess if you're just a big person who's into tech and you like all just to get new gadgets and all that type of stuff like that, then I guess that appeals to you. I don't really see the point of getting like the Google, not the Google glasses, but those type of glasses that does the stuff. It's like, well, can't you just use your phone that does all this stuff? But there's people that's willing to buy that stuff because they are hype beasts and they buy it because it's the latest exclusive thing that not everybody can get, but they can get it.
That's why they would waste $13,000 on Google glasses.
But that was the
that's the same as the sneaker culture.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean that's the same with sneaker culture, with technology, with anything. Like when something's exclusive, there's always gonna be somebody that wants that just because of the exclusivity. Always.
Yeah, and that's all it is. And I don't know how to segue from exclusivity, but we got walking robots, people.
Walking robots, really? Well,
yes. You all.
Well, goddamn! Why didn't you start with that? What are you talking about? These vehicles and what the fuck? Why didn't you start with that?
Talking about automatic cars and glasses. We got walking robots now.
Hey man, this is the closer. Like Sophia, you all know Sophia by now, right?
Right. Yeah.
You mean the talking robot?
Yeah, my new girlfriend, man. Yeah, you know.
Sure, whatever. The future of death of us all.
Hey, she only said she wanted to destroy us about 3-4 times, but she sees all right, man.
That is not acceptable, even one time.
But yeah, she finally got legs, man, and she's walking very slowly. She can't run away.
Mm-hmm.
So we can put her in jail. We can lock her up.
Right.
She's not out running. I stutter. I mess up his name every time because he was at CES. She's not out running Usain Bolt. Am I saying that right?
Oh yeah, Usain Bolt. Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt.
Yeah, she's not outrunning him. He was at CES though. They were about to race. It seemed like they looked across the room at each other. I saw it.
Okay.
But yeah, she finally has legs, and it's one of those things where it's gonna be not step by step. That was a bad pun. It's going to be incremental increases to improvements to her technology and like what she's capable of. I won't be surprised if by this time next year that she starts flying.
All I know is that I'm pretty sure most people are just going to use this technology to either make them into slaves or sex bots.
I'd go for the latter.
Probably the sex bots, and if they can be a slave at it, why not?
No.
Sex slave. There you go.
Sure. Whatever. As long as it's not people and they're robots. We don't give them feelings, so they have none.
Right.
Yeah. Then we watch The Matrix on repeat.
I'm just saying, man, The Matrix is all on the idea that programs could artificially increase in time, but if they were never put there in the first place, there is no room for making them more. But then again, you could also argue the Blade Runner argument of, well, if we make it so good, is it even if it's within the programming, will we even know the difference?
Yeah, but I mean the Blade Runners. I mean those were people that they meant to like. They gave them memories and all this stuff. I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's where you fucked it. Like, why would you give this thing memories and like?
Because we're sick, twisted people. That's why.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like that one stand-up show. I can't remember who it was, but he's like, "Why did God was talking to man? Why did you take oil out of the ground? It was meant to stay there because we want to go fast."
We want to go fast.
But I mean, so with so Sophia the robot, so is the only new thing with her is that she's got limbs, or does she have higher speaking functions, or there's any development there? Or...
Oh, she's improving every day. Like the creators of her have spoken on this count multiple times, saying that she's improving every day. She's pretty much a child, and like I said last time, like don't raise dumbass kids. But she's pretty much a child. She's learning every day as far as that part. Everything else is the same except she has legs. She's walking. Just one modular piece that they added to her, and who knows how many more are gonna happen.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Because her head, like everything from the upper body, is pretty much move a little bit faster. She would move from a human for the most part.
That is really disturbing.
Well, like she makes certain faces or whatever. Like she just scrunches her face out of nowhere and just ignores everybody. You know, it just seems weird every once in a while. But for the most part, she looks human. I think they call it flubber that she has on her face, the skin.
Okay.
So there's gonna come a point when she's gonna be up there walking and moving and being almost completely human, and I'm just gonna be like, well, we're doomed.
Well, it could, and I'm the first person. I feel like I'm usually the first person to say the doom and gloom, but I've been doing this my whole life to the point where I guess I'm going through the stages of denial or like grief or whatever it's called.
Mm.
I'm accepting this. I for one, welcome my robot overlords.
No.
So you're doing a Simpsons increment. I accept your bug overlords.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we can't stop this thing from like once it's out there, it's not gonna stop. So we just gotta learn to live with it. Like, let's
No,
make
that
things better.
dumbass scientists.
So is that all the big developments coming at CES? All the big ones?
Oh, it's just one more robot. Because there's plenty of robots, but they're nothing more than what we've seen before. But this one caught my interest. It's called a Aeolus prototype robot, and they say it's gonna cost you as much as a family cruise, a family trip.
Okay. How much is a family trip?
So
Okay.
Like,
that's a good question, man. When you go on a family cruise, you let me know.
yeah.
That's like what a family cruise, depending on the amount. That's maybe like per person. That might be 10 grand each.
Damn. Okay.
So four grand? I mean 40 grand. I mean,
Maybe
Oh,
God.
for a whole family, probably. Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Well, would you
And
be
that
willing?
depends. That's probably like a week and a half of being pampered and being on the ocean.
So
Maybe
would
even more, depending. I mean, the super luxury ones, that probably be about 2 weeks.
hmm, okay. That's I don't know if that's a good deal, but either way, I'm curious. Would you guys be willing to pay that much for what is essentially Rosie the robot from? I was gonna say Futurama from Jetsons.
No.
If she had that same voice,
You could program it. It's got
then,
Alexa.
then for it to be fully functional, I know a guy who would be okay with it.
Yeah, man. Just jailbreak it. Change Alexa around because you know it's got Alexa in it.
Oh God. No, it's like I can't do it, Mr. J.
Oh, that would be great. I would like that.
I would like honestly Rosie the robot. I just call her Rosie, and just like watch old school cartoon episodes of the Jetsons. Like, hey, Rosie, you're there. You're on television.
So yeah, it's for the most part, it's just essentially the same thing as Rosie the robot. Like she can grab items. She can or she, but the the robot can grab items. It can rise up and down. It's on wheels. Has Alexa control. You can use your voice. You can use your phone to control it. You can be far away. Just go into your account.
Okay.
It remembers objects and faces. It's extra secure. It can secure the house as a what should I say?
Watchdog.
Burglar alarm, I guess.
Okay. A burglar alarm.
Because I don't know if it'll actually fight anybody. I don't know how that works, but
Alright, so when somebody breaks in the
Right.
house, they can like call the police or.
yes, and I'm assuming that it'll make a siren sound.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
It could be that iRobot thing where the alarm goes off and it's like a silent alarm.
Well,
Like it like flashes red and that means it's an alarm.
oh yeah, okay, I remember that now.
Yeah, I mean that would probably be more realistic, and so like the burglar wouldn't be immediately notified.
Well, but what's more scary to a burglar? Like if he hears like a loud alarm noise.
I mean, it could
that's-
do both. It could be like that. Could be like the red flashing is like I'm about to send the alarm,
Hmm.
and then the bum 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 goes out.
Hmm. Okay.
Would be more freaky if their mouth opened and their eyes opened and light came out. It was red. Then that would scare the crap out of me.
Intruder.
Exactly. Intruder. Intruder.
But yes, as far as the AR, the robotics, the cars, these are the highlights of what CS had to offer. There's plenty more. My main thing is a projector that can show multiple screens. Like I've always wanted split screen with just one screen,
Mhm.
and there's a projector screen that does like holographic cards basically,
Oh.
and you'll be able to put like 4 projectors up in different locations, and you all will be sitting in the location of the projector and seeing 4 different screens, all of us.
Wow. Nice.
So we can do split screen with one TV, 4 players, and that's what I'm gonna buy because it's out now.
Nice. How much is that?
That is let's see, it's called the Mirror, the MirrorViz projector screen, and the whole setup is $2,000.
Wow.
I think it's still on sale right now for 1,500 because of CES, and that's 2 projectors and a screen, and the screen itself is just $500, and I think I want to say it goes up to $700 after CES. I mean, after the CES discount.
What are you gonna do
So
with
you
that?
gonna buy it?
I'm gonna have like when I actually do get a house and all that stuff, I'm gonna have that in my man cave.
Right.
Okay.
But wouldn't it
So
be
instead
better?
of getting like a big old flat screen TV, you're just gonna project it on the wall.
Yeah, now I've always been a big fan of projectors to begin with, so when I found out
That's
about this,
cool. That's nothing wrong with that.
All right. That's
You just gotta make sure you have a big enough wall.
oh, I will, man. Like, in all honesty, we all have a big enough wall. Like, you don't need that much room.
okay. That's pretty dope.
Certain people have certain enough crap in their house that they can't make it work.
I mean, what? Well, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, 90s. I think that's a pretty good job. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yes,
And
thank you.
yeah, and then
That concludes CES.
yeah, and that will conclude all our topics for today. And we hope everybody listening to this had a good time listening to this. Dusk, any final word for the people?
Sure. Keep calm. Everything's gonna be okay. Don't worry about everything's gonna be all right, and be safe with every type of technology. And we'll see you next time.
All right. And we will see you guys later. Don't forget to always check us out on SoundCloud, on YouTube, on all the social medias. Just check Google. Hey, search The Afternoon Tune. We'll be right there for you people. And don't forget to always tune in. Hello, thanks for checking out our content. If you liked it, let us know. And if you didn't, let us know that as well. If you want to see more content, we post every Saturday on SoundCloud and YouTube at The Afternoon Tune. You can also find us through various social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all one word at The Afternoon Tune. And if you don't deal with any of that social media stuff, you can also find us through our email at theafternoontune@gmail.com. And don't forget to always stay tuned.